We just finished decorating our son's nursery. Trust me when I say that it's a very stressful process if you've never done this before, especially when you think you're having a girl and then it turns out to be a boy. You're constantly thinking of everything that you don't have. You know, oh crap, I didn't buy that one thing that's going to make my life a little bit easier. You have to find all the right pieces and parts that work well for your family and your new baby on the way. Honestly, it's kind of fun. You're decorating for this kid and the environment that you want him to grow up and thrive in. Hi, everybody. If you're just tuning in, my name is Alex Albisu. I'm a podcaster, I'm a father, and I've been talking to parents and parenting experts from around the world on my podcast called The Dad Chronicle. So today, what I want to do is take you through a tour of our son's new room, who we're expecting here in like the next couple of weeks. Anytime now. He's a big boy. Turns out, like, we went to an appointment, still got a couple weeks left. Already 8 pounds, 3 ounces. It's a big kid. I'll share all the things that we got and why they are helpful to our family unit and our way of living together with a brand new baby, based on some of the lessons learned that we had with our daughter, Aria. And hopefully what you see today is helpful as you approach building a nursery for your own child and what works well for your own family unit. Now, before we get started, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it in case there's anybody else out there who's trying to build a nursery and has no idea where to start. This will hopefully help them get on the right direction. Also, I'll have links to all of the products that I'm going to be talking about and what we've put in this room down in the description below. And full disclosure, they're affiliate links that cost nothing extra to you, but if you do purchase anything, it'll help support this channel indirectly. So you guys want to see the nursery? Come on. All right, here we are. Baby Jacob's room. All right, so let's start with this side of the room. Over here, we thought that this would be a really fun thing for Aria to do in anticipation of her little brother coming. We got some of these little shadow box frames. Ended up putting some pictures that she colored in there. And we said, this is for your little brother. And she got very excited. So she wanted to paint something or color something. And so that's what we did. It was a fun little activity. As you'll see, the color palette in the room is mostly white, red, and like a dark navy blue. And so we got a bunch of stuff to kind of complement that. This bookshelf here came from Wayfair, and it's just a pretty basic bookshelf. I actually picked this one out because I thought it was a little different from other bookshelves that we saw. And we have some fun little baskets in here that go with the decor, some socks and hats. Some of the little outlet socks, I guess you can call them. We'll talk about the outlet here in a second. But I thought that this was a cool little piece. Got some books down there. And then up here, this box is another thing that Deanna's grandfather made. I'm going to show you a few pieces here. Deanna's grandfather passed away before he was ever able to make Jacob anything. He made some stuff for Aria, our 3.5-year-old daughter. And so we had some of his pieces still. And so we painted them, you know, kind of refinished them, and now have them here in his room. So we'll probably put like little knickknacks and stuff in here. Have a J for Jacob. This is just one of those kind of, this is just like at some kind of a, you know, like a at home or somewhere like that where you can pick up little knickknacks like this. Just hung it on the wall. J for Jacob. So that's kind of cool looking. Got kind of a hard finished. You can see some of the paint and stuff worn off. It's kind of a neat little piece. All right, let's talk about this corner of the room here. We found some of these pictures, like airplanes and stuff. Deanna's dad flew in the Marine Corps. We have a plane that he built, little tricycle sort of plane that he built for Aria, and wanted to kind of bring some of that plane stuff in here. Found this awesome little be a superhero sign let you read that. I think it's pretty awesome. If you know me, I'm big into superheroes, so the Marvel and DC comics and all that sort of stuff. Oh yeah. So my boy's gonna like it too. Now let's look at this chair. See this chair? This chair's awesome. This chair we got from Babies R Us. You guys remember Babies R Us? Leave a note in the comment below if you remember Babies R Us. So this chair is awesome. It is very comfortable. Obviously Babies R Us isn't around anymore, but I have a link to one that's very similar to this in the description below. So you guys can take a look at kind of like what we have. But having a nice swivel chair, here I'll move it so you can see, like it swivels, you see? And it glides, rocks back and forth. And so does this piece here. Awesome for those late nights you're up with the kid. So I have a link to one of these down below. You can kind of see what we have, but highly, highly recommend having something like this in your nursery if you have the room. All right, now this side table we got from At Home. It's just a, like a home decor sort of place. But this piece is what I really want to talk about, the Owlet. So the Owlet is an awesome device that lets you attach this little sock piece to the baby's foot, attach it to the foot. No, you wrap it around the foot. you don't stick it in anyway. So you end up putting this around the baby's foot, and this little piece right here is actually a little monitor. You can see it's charging through this charging station. This monitors the baby's heartbeat, oxygen, certain levels like that. SIDS is a serious thing that occurs in young kids, and if you don't prevent it with something like this, or you don't not prevent it, but if you don't like anticipate it or look to stop it with something like this, it can mean your baby's life. So we ended up getting one. I know people who don't end up having one, and everything's fine, but for us it was kind of a peace of mind thing. And also, I don't know how true this necessarily is, but I've heard of some insurance companies writing it off. I have a link to one in the description below so you guys can see what it's all about. If you're kind of a worrywart like Deanna and I are, probably not as much of a worrywart as some, but it was enough for us to invest in this, and it's really nice. It ends up alerting you if anything goes wrong at night, like while your kid's sleeping. So I would recommend one of these things if you can fork over the cash for it. You'll hear it go off at night, like if something is wrong, it'll play like a really loud lullaby, so it really wakes you up. But it's pretty startling, and we haven't had that actually happen. Well, I should put it this way: we had that happen when perhaps it shifted off of Aria's foot at night, like when she was a newborn. So nothing was wrong with Aria, but it shows it works. So if it doesn't detect something there, like a pulse or something, it starts going off, and you'll wake up in a panic, and it's worth it. Now this bench is something really, really special. So this belonged to Deanna's mom, and Deanna's mom passed it down to us to give to Jacob. This is another piece made by Deanna's grandfather. I ended up painting it white, kind of refinishing it a bit, but using it sort of as like a little place to keep some toys, books, and other things. We also say that, Aria can come and sit down on this when we're getting Jake ready in the morning. So this was a really, really special piece, and I'm really, really happy to have it here in his room. All right, the crib. This crib is awesome. If you don't invest in a 4-in-1 crib, you're not doing it right. I'm telling you, people, get yourself a convertible crib. And what a convertible crib means is that it will take the mattress, and you can bring it down when your baby starts to stand up in the crib. And you can also convert it into a toddler bed and then into a full-size bed. So this will be with Jake for a very long time. And I feel like it's pretty easy to build. I built this. This was Aria's back when she was a baby. And so I had it built when she was, like 3 months until she was born. I think I had built this. So it's been standing up for a very long time, still very sturdy. And we're just repurposing it for Jacob. And while the crib is made from Wayfair, we got this a few years ago. I don't think I've seen this on their site anywhere, but I found one very similar to it on Amazon. So I'll be sharing a link to it. It's Just another convertible crib. Again, you have to get yourself a convertible crib. It is the way to go. Right up above here is his name. We ended up getting this kind of custom made from, I think it was an Etsy shop. I'll double check with Deanna and see if I can put it in the link below, but it's wood, the same sort of red that matches the rest of his room, and it's something kind of special. I feel like he'll hold on to for a while. And of course, we have some more pictures of airplanes. Dream big, little one. Yes, please do, my boy. And these are some kind of curtains for the top here, matching the room. I'll see if I can find those. I think we got them on Amazon, so I'll see if I can find a link and put them there. I like these. I think they work pretty well. My only complaint is that you see how they just kind of hang kind of low from the rod. So you have to put the rod at the right height so that it kind of covers the top of your blinds. But other than that, I think the material is pretty good. So I'll provide a link to that if I can. Now let's talk baby monitors. So this thing is a VTech camera, and this VTech camera is hooked up to this baby monitor right here. And what's really, really helpful about this baby monitor is that you can control the swivel of the head and the rotation and the height of everything on that camera from this piece right here. Now, I know a lot of folks out there are like, oh, just get an app for your phone, dude. Like, what are you doing with a separate piece like this? But honestly, for us, we wanted to have something kind of not so cumbersome for our parents when they would come over and watch the kids. So we have just a separate unit and a separate piece, and this works really well for us. I totally respect people who want to have that sort of integration into their phone, and I know a lot of people do, but for us, this was the right pick. And I would just take that into consideration. Think about the people that are going to be watching your kids and perhaps get something that's friendly for them. All right, now the final wall of the room. We have a bunch of stuff on this wall that we'll talk about. We have a bunch of decorations, and we also have the dresser. So just like most of the stuff in this room, this is a Wayfair dresser. And this Wayfair dresser was really easy to put together. Took me maybe an hour. I actually had a bad piece that came with it, but they ended up sending me a replacement piece. So like in total, it only took about an hour to put together once I had the right piece for it. Top of the dresser here, we have a baby changing pad. This is really helpful to have on top of a dresser. It's a real soft material. It's the same color as the rest of the decor in the room. And this, you can't really tell by, I mean, maybe you can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's, you know, water resistant. So if the kid goes and pees all over it, it's easy to wipe down. Very easy to clean. So get yourself something like this to change your kids on and make it, you know, accessible. So that's really helpful. And then we have a little basket here we got from a place like At Home. It's nice to just kind of keep things like pacifiers in or other little knickknacks that you might need when you're changing your kid. And then right here we have this Moby baby carrier. A baby carrier, you would think, is something that's pretty straightforward, but we had a different baby carrier that was really, really hard to use. Like, you had to frickin' strap them in like 500 different ways. I didn't like it very much, but we ended up getting this one. This one is legit. It's super easy to put your kid in and out of. So a link to this is in the description below if you want to check it out as well. So this was highly recommended by a friend of ours, and it's pretty sweet. So check that out. Now over here, we have a bunch of decor that we got from places like At Home that I thought was pretty cool. We have some pictures of us and the family. There's little Aria getting promoted to big sister. All of us and the dogs. The dogs. Look at that face. Look at his like little ear. Look at his face. And then we have another little momentous occasion when we found out that it was a boy. That was quite a day. You can go listen to the Dad Chronicle, our episode all about that. That was a lot of fun. And then we have some stock pictures of a kid and some baby hands because we don't have pictures of them yet. And we want to hold on to these for when we have a picture of Jacob. And if you know anything about us, we're Ohio State fans. Deanna's dad went to Ohio State, and ever since I got married, I drank the Kool-Aid and I love it. I think it's super rad. And so we have some OSU baby shoes. We actually had these when we had Aria, and we've used them in some kind of a form or fashion of announcing our pregnancy. So you might remember that from the very early days at the Dad Chronicle. We've even used it to surprise Deanna's parents when we were expecting. And of course, this OSU bear. And finally, this little picture here, I thought is really, it kind of sums up how we feel about having a little boy. I thought that this was so cool. Your love for the boy you are, the man you will become, the precious son you will always be. And how could we not talk about baby poop? Diapers, guys. You're gonna go through a lot of them, and you're gonna need something that holds in not just the diapers, but the smell, and this thing is legit. This is a Munchkin baby trash can pail. I don't remember exactly what the name is. It's made by Munchkin, but you can see here that there are, you put the poopy diaper, or, gross diaper, dirty diaper in there. You can even hook up like an air freshener in there so that it doesn't remain too stinky. But this is a really good job. I mean, you can kind of see here, it like really wraps up so that it contains the smell of everything that ends up in there. When you push this thing opens up, and this is where all of the diapers go in this bag here, which you knot up at the end. And the bags that Munchkin sells are they kind of smell good, like fragrant. So it does a good job blocking out the smell. And then when you're done, you just you yank it out, and then this thing cuts it, and then you just tie it up and you throw it in your trash can outside or whatever to be disposed of. So this is a really, really helpful contraption. If you're not thinking about where you're putting all your poopy and gross diapers, you gotta think about that. They gotta go somewhere, guys. So I hope you enjoyed our little tour of Jacob's room. It is so much fun putting a baby room together, but it's also really kind of stressful if you don't know where to start. So hopefully for you folks at home who are thinking about like, what sort of stuff do I get for my baby's room? I've never done this before. Hopefully that's really helpful to you. But if there's anything else that perhaps I didn't think of, or any suggestions that you might have to anybody else viewing this video, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. Also down in the description below is a link to our Discord server, where I have a ton of other resources and links to different things that can help you as parents. Join the community. We have a lot of fun. And if you play video games, lots of us there play video games as well. And we always do community gaming nights. It's a good time. And finally, if you enjoyed what you've seen today and you want to support what I do, head over to supportadad.com. That's our Patreon site where you can find any sort of level that works for you. Even $1 a month helps a lot towards the operational costs of this program, as well as my podcast, The Dad Chronicle. So thanks for watching. And remember to be good to yourself, be good to others. Take care. See you next time.